Occupy Portland protesters are holding their ground. First at 5, keeping 2 terminals closed at the Port of Portland.
That's right. Lines of protesters are blocking the terminal entrances and they're keeping trucks from getting inside. We have live coverage. Air 12 is over the scene right now with a look at what's happening there near Terminal 4. As we told you, this is something that has been happening since this morning. It was on Good Day, Oregon as well. There's a look now as you see the march that is making its way from Kelly Point Park up and along the sidewalk, it would seem, there toward that terminal.
You can see several people below in this view from Air 12 holding signs. People have been at it all day long since early this morning, starting at the ports, effectively shutting down the Port of Portland at some point this morning. And again, trying to bring attention to their cause, which is they want better wages. They're sort of lashing out at corporations. And this is the way they decided to show their express their unhappiness today.
Numbers kind of dwindled, during midday after kind of the big rally this morning. They wanted to pick it back up again around 4. They've now arrived there at those ports at 5. We have a live crew down at the scene. We'll get to that in a little bit later in this newscast.
Meanwhile, Governor Kitzhaber says he is sympathetic to the concerns of the demonstrators, but they're targeting the wrong things.
A quarter of our manufacturing jobs are export dependent, and I would argue most of those people are part of the 99%. So we want to make sure that in our efforts to foster a very important public discussion about these issues, we don't at the same time jeopardize some of the very workers that we're trying to help.
The governor talked to business and community leaders in Portland today during the Oregon Leadership Summit.
While trying to keep those ports from opening, Occupy demonstrators also went head-to-head with several truck drivers. The whole thing, as we said, started about 6 o'clock this morning. KPTV's Laura Rios has more on how those events unfolded.
Nearly 500 protesters descended upon the Port of Portland, trying to hit the 1% where it hurts.
We don't see no riot here. Take off your riot gear.
Portland police first blocked them from getting to Terminal 5, but eventually let them through. Picket lines formed at Terminals 5 and 6, blocking trucks from getting through the gates. The port announced they'd shut down the 2 terminals, and employees had been told to stay home. Some drivers honked in support. Others were frustrated by this protest.
I think it's lazy guys. Need to go to work.
We're really getting all these people to do so I could go to work. So I could put Christmas presents under my tree and put food on my table.
I understand that he's trying to make a living wage today, but the problem is that if you look ahead 10 years, 20 years, it doesn't look good for anybody. So we have to take some measures right now to try to secure a little bit more financial security for ourselves.
While most drivers turned their trucks around and left, others were determined to get to work. This driver made their way through a crowd of protesters, and one of the most heated moments of the morning occurred when protesters blocked this truck delivering to a private business near Terminal 5.
You shouldn't have tried to run this lady over.
That truck eventually backed up and left like the others before it. With the 2 terminals closed, Occupy Portland celebrated what they called a victorious morning.
By being out here today and actually slowing down shipping and slowing down the progression of the goods that are coming in and out of these ports, that hopefully will make the 1% notice that we are here, we're frustrated, we're just asking for collaboration.
Laura Rios, the 5 o'clock news.
Well, Portland police arrested several people before they even got to the protest at that port. Dressed in camouflage, police say that Jason Barnes and Stephen Litticoat said that they were doing reconnaissance for the demonstration. Police say that the 2 had gas masks, a sword, walkie-talkies, and a loaded handgun with extra magazines in Barnes' car. Barnes is also charged with driving with a suspended license, and police say that Litticoat had an outstanding warrant. A minor crash on Marine Drive led to another arrest. Police say that Levi Feldman was driving a stolen truck when he crashed on his way to the protest.